I still don't get the CM though. You're right. It's I mean, this isn't really a natural pairing.
It's okay.
It's there's nothing wrong with
to
it,
explain. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't think like, oh man, classic opener here, Crystal Maiden, Wraith King, look out. It's
there's a lot of things.
Puck is pretty nice.
Yeah, she does have like this big counter pool of like all the summon heroes, right? So maybe this is like, oh, Beastmaster's still in. We don't want them in the first phase. Beastmaster, I don't necessarily want to pick it yet. Maybe like we like having more flexibility for Sacred later in the draft. So maybe they're gonna have to now ban Beastmaster in the second phase as NoPing if they don't feel like they want it versus the CM, for example. That kind of stuff.
See your point.
And one thing that's kind of cool about CM and why she works really well in pubs, at least, is that you can get quite a bit of gold because you can clear waves and you can even farm like neutrals at random times via your ulti or your W. Like it does happen because she does have a lot of good itemization options. So
it's really cool early. Like, is there any other 5 that can so easily kill the hard creep in the jungle at level 1, level 2 without taking any damage? You know, like that. Being able to do that if you're winning your lane and pulling in the jungle is definitely a pretty cool perk of the CM.
She's also really good versus Phantom Lancer. It's like one of my favorite 5s to play versus PL.
Both these heroes. I love having a long duration route like that, and also AoE to try to scout out the real Phantom.
The attack speed slow is extremely good versus Phantom Lancer. We talk about how good Radiance is, but the crazy attack speed slow from the Crystal Nova is super strong too.
Yeah, until he gets lots of points of Doppelganger. Definitely annoying for the PL. He also has very low HP, so the AoE pretty strong. And I really like what they did with the bans here. They take the Pango Sand King, so most of the... Even though like EGOBOYS could get the Beastmaster, not really a hero you really want to have versus PL. So I think they covered their bases in regards to that.
True.
10 seconds.
What are our favorite pairings with Wraith King? Is Wraith King just on an island? Does he need any certain pairings?
I don't feel like he does. Like, you just want to break even in the lane, right? You just you don't want like a terrible greedy 5 that doesn't soak damage to you.
No, I guess I mean like a like pairings in terms of like the game, like other similar cores. Not really, right? He just kind of does his thing.
Yeah, he just needs a little bit of breathing room to get that initial kit. It seems like Radiance has been pretty popular, right? It's weird how that's come back into vogue, but
you could say he values very active heroes to give him that little bit of breathing room with like the potential Radiance Rush or the Midas Radiance. So that might be the way to look at it. All the Spirit heroes still in, but it's into Puck. So
there's this really strange dynamic with his ultimate where if you're playing from behind or even, sometimes the ult can feel really useless because it's just utilized when they can kill you again immediately. But then when you're a little bit ahead or a significant amount ahead, 5K net worth plus over the enemy carry, you feel like a god. It's like we can barely kill this guy once. I think the caster said last game when he had Aegis, like they actually cannot kill him 3 times. And there's a timer to kill him within those 3 times as well, right? Or else you have to deal with another reincarnation. So I agree, Trent. I think he needs those space creators to get to those games where we have that, oh, wow, Wraith King's busted sort of mentality.
Who was our 4 here on NoPing?
I'm sorry?
Because we are not picking 4 or 5 right now, right? So is it a Puck 4, I guess?
Yes. I guess it could be Meadow, but they do have the options open.
Yeah, it just seems... I mean, I guess we're picking a 5 here is what I mean, and then we'll either have a Puck 4 or a position 4 last pick. One would guess. So some 5 with PL that can punish respawn is always nice too, or has high physical damage versus the Tiny. Witch Doctor is still in terms of just like trying to bully the Tiny too. Decent to help a PL get off the ground as well. Combos pretty well with Ravage and Dream Coil for that matter.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't mind the Witch Doctor at all here.
Oh, Undying. Okay. Still some good team fight though.
Same idea.
Counter skeletons with zombies. Pretty smart.
Yeah, very similar logic to just like helping the early laning stage. Really good team fight. You're all in on team fight now though. Less solo kill potential than Witch Doctor offers. That's for sure.
All right, Trent. We did say that Wraith King doesn't need any pairings, but I feel like if there's a good pairing, it's probably Darkseer.
He's also he's the highest win rate right now versus PL, I think, in pubs when I was looking earlier, which makes sense because Darkseer is like kind of busted right now, and the illusions are really strong.
both drafts are looking good to me. You have this Undying hero in the safe lane against 2 melee heroes. So there's a lot of potential there, even though it's pretty obnoxious to play versus double Iron Shell level 1. Then you have Crystal Maiden Wraith King. You know, CM looks like a squishy little girl, but she's super strong in the lane. So that's gonna create space for the Wraith King to get his early items and start jungling. And then you have this TIE Hunter versus Wraith King, which is a good matchup as well. It doesn't really kill the Wraith King, but he doesn't really feel threatened at all. Yeah. Feels pretty balanced.
Anchor Smash isn't fun. For the Wraith King, I mean.
Yeah. You're just waddling around doing less damage. And you don't really buy Dispel outside of BKB.
It's weirdly hard to dodge, too. Every time I play against a Tide Hunter, I think, I'll be able to sidestep some of these Anchor Smashes. Yeah, you just get wonked by most of them.
Get rid of the lawnmower combo of Ember and Darkseer.
Wow.
Good hero versus PL.
Oh, there's still a Void.
Open.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Damn it, Bowie. I was just thinking the same thing. Get out of my head, man.
What's another gap closing that they could go for here?
5 seconds remaining.
Oh,
Mirana.
They play mid Bounty Hunter on Dark Mago a couple of games. Just leaving that open.
Just throw that out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Dark Mago played mid Bounty Hunter
hero.
twice.
Okay, here's what I'll say. If they had picked a Coddle instead of the Undying and done Coddle PL, then done the Aghanim's Bounty with the refreshed Coddle, I would have been all in.
Oh, baby.
That was the Chicken Fighters or NIP, whatever they were at the time, strat.
We cast a game with that one time, I think.
It was like one of the cheesiest combos I've ever seen busted out at a pro match.
It's pretty dumb. It
was so much damage.
I
All
mean,
right, who wants an Iron Shell, guys?
Could do like a DK type thing. I know we threw that out last game. Probably not as likely.
Yeah, it's weird. Most of the Dark
I kind
Mago...
of like the Mirana still. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's kind of cool.
This Tiny could be Dark Magos, right? Oh no, that's EGOBOYS. All right, guys.
Dark Mago's on the other team there, big dog.
My brain is frying over here.
It could still be for alone theoretically. I mean, it's a melee hero with Iron Shell. There's no reason you can't do it.
It takes Snapfire.
You had it earlier.
Wow, Bowie, you shouted it out earlier, and then you forgot about your own shout out. You just did that thing where you ordered yourself a Christmas present and then forgot that you ordered it and got surprised when it arrived. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Except
done.
in this case, it was more like you put a pizza in the oven, you forgot about it, and then you found it when it was burnt.
Now, here's the question. Is Snapfire metal, or will they position for the Snapfire?
I think mid, because the Tiny 4 is way better with the Darkseer, and the Ags looks kind of sick this game.
Agreed.
True.
Now, what is the Dark Mago hero? It could be Puck, but it's probably more likely the 4 Puck. With last pick, generally they do want to save it for Mago. Not a lot of time left here.
No Tiny for him. No Storm. All right.
No Tinker, and they take Death Prophet. Okay.
DP,
Well, they go classic with it.
I don't like this DP.
You gotta wait to see what Alone has.
Okay.
Alone does take the Tiny, so it is the 4 Snap, right?
Oh. Tano Snap. Yes, correct.
Yeah, maybe they're afraid of the Undying. Got two Melizers Undying. It's kind of scary, but
Who is
I don't know.
SHCCD again? What was that name change? I hate this shit.
it was Prada became.
That's Prada. That's
yeah.
Prada. All right, so Prada Crystal Maiden. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Stark Mago. He will probably impress us anyways, but I see Tiny versus Death Prophet. Burst damage in general. It's really good versus her. But the lane is probably going to be okay for the DP. Pretty, the percentage.
I don't know, man.
Super annoying.
I gotta believe in my Mingate PL here. There's a few carries that I'm a bit of a fanboy for here in South America, and Cuckahook's one of them. Mingate is the other. I'm in on Mingate. What are you thinking, Trent?
I'm contemplating this Darkseer and how busted he is lately. I think I'm going to go for Sacred on the Darkseer. I think he's shown some impressive plays so far this tournament, and I think Darkseer is really broken right now, and it's good versus PL. And if as long as he gets the Aghanims, we're all good.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I'd like to see that eggs too.
Agree with anything Trent said, but I don't want EGOBOYS to lose and be thrown out, so I'm going for EGOBOYS anyways because I don't want them to be 0-3.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Well,
Great, bud.
hashtag no bias here on the panel. Now we've got some casters to share their insight and balance some things out. And Gary, what better than a pause here? I'm going to hand you this softball. Now it's your turn to take over and see if you can knock one out of the park, bud. Let's go.
Oh, thank you, Zara. Yeah, of course. Into a pause. Straight away we go. Theban, EGOBOYS up against NoPing. Like Bowie was saying, EGOBOYS need to get themselves out of this rut with a Wraith King pick that seems unstoppable. Do they have what it takes?
I don't think so. I think NoPing's draft looks really good this game. They got the strong team fight with the Undying, the Puck, and then the DP. Oh my god, their team fight is unbelievably strong. And Wraith King, I think he's actually quite bad against Undying. You can't really go into the battle and stand your ground. You're always trying to run away, and you're already a slow hero as well. If the Snapfire doesn't go in with that Shredder and kill the Tombstone for you, you pretty much have to forfeit the fight. Or get the Darkseer to surge you out, but there's so much lockdown on the side of NoPing to stop that from happening.
And so much gap close with that Puck being able to keep on going. Phantom Rush from the Phantom Lancer just lets you keep on chasing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. Looking at this EGOBOYS lineup. Wraith King is always a hero. You're thinking he'll hit his timing. He'll be strong no matter what happens coming out of that laning stage. But Tiny in the mid lane, different story. He's much more of a snowball hero. There are a couple of good targets here for NoPing to take out. But how does that lane against DP go between her and Tiny?
Oh, we've seen this already, Gary. I'm sure if you go into your memory bank somewhere back in there, you'll know how it went last time you saw this matchup.
I remember. I'm asking for your
expert opinion here.
Expert
okay,
opinion,
all right.
exactly.
Well, Death Prophet crushes Tiny for the most part. Not only during the laning stage, but throughout the game as well. Tiny can have an opportunity where like he just jumps in and blows the DP up, which is like a half health, but it doesn't really happen too often. It's a very tough thing to do against the DP, especially if the DP goes for a hood this game, which I think she should. It's like all magic damage on the side of Radiant. This is the game where you go hood on like all your heroes.
Yeah. Get that hood
Even
going.
the Radiance from the Wraith King, that's also going to be magic damage.
It all adds up. But yeah, you're right. That laning stage with Spirit Siphon keeping you topped up, Crypt Swarm to secure range creeps or last hits. Tiny. You can definitely have a few struggles there. Very low armor, 0 armor Tiny. And DP so good at keeping the right clicks going with the Spirit Siphons as well. It can be a tough one. But Tiny is a great hero at rotating. Get an action rune, go into these side lanes, look for pickoffs, and that's how you're going to be snowballing as a lone.
You're going to need to. You're going to need to do it. One good thing, though, for EGOBOYS in this draft is that Wraith King, Darkseer, these are incredible heroes against Phantom Lancer. I've heard people like mention, oh, Wraith King can't do anything against PL. Nah, all he needs to do is just be a Radiance. Just the fact that he has a Radiance already makes PL's game like 5 times harder. And then he's also going to have an Ion Shell. An Ion Shell, very good against PL. Making the wall of replica on the PL, also really nice. So that's going to be a little bit annoying for him. He's just going to count on the rest of his team to be able to carry him against the Wraith King and Darkseer. Actually, Crystal Maiden also... oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to... Don't forget Cloak of Flames. Iron Shell, Cloak of Flames, Radiance.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of options for him. It was Trent who said Phantom Lancer, or CM, is really good against PL. But it's actually PL's extremely bad against CM as well. Because not only because he can like slow down his attacks, but the freezing field, he has no disables to stop that from coming off. And PL's the kind of hero who wants to go on supports and kill them. So every time the PL jumps onto the CM, she's going to drop the ulti, and that's it. PL just has to get out. Then you notice which one's the real one, and you can just kill him.
Yeah, and either you force him to spend Doppelganger, or he already spent it to go on you. As Crystal Maiden trying to trade with the Puck there, but Gush plus Orb doing an awful lot of good work for NoPing in that bottom lane. Tide and Puck against Maiden, Wraith King. It feels like both of them have kill threat over each other. You can see Matthew drops low, then the turnaround is that Gush and Orb. We could say the Wraith King getting the slight upper hand as he's CSing much more comfortably than the Tidehunter is.
Yeah, Puck is going to be quite annoying at just constantly right-clicking this Wraith King in the lane. I do think their kill threat is going to have to come out onto the Crystal Maiden. One Gush with an Orb and a Waning Rift might end up killing the Maiden at some point. they should go for that. I just need a second because my headset is telling me I need to change its battery. So
Oh, changes batteries then. Yeah, this Maiden gets off with full clarity. Gets out a couple more spells, pops the Mango, attempts to kill the Tide, and Oscar sliced down by now on that Wraith King, chasing the orb. Does have a couple of stick charges, but not enough to pop out another Wraithfire Blast. So it's going to be Matthew getting back in there with the right-click attacks. So first blood spilled by EGOBOYS in that bottom lane, and a good start for the Wraith King.
yeah, the Tide Hunter, definitely not the hero who I expected to die first in this game. Maybe valuing the Gush a little too much to start off.
Yeah, it
Might
gave
have
them a
been
lot of
happier.
aggressive potential, but they go again on the puck, trying to bait out phase shift. Does dodge the stun with it though. Matthew held until the very final second.
Yeah, he was thinking maybe the puck doesn't have phase shift, you know? Maybe. He went
Let's
for
try
the 2 nuke build, but he's definitely going to be skilling that against the Wraith King Fire Blast.
Also, 10-1 charges to play with there.
I doubt there's going to be many more kills than that one onto the Tide Hunter in this lane. Because Tide's about to hit level 3, and now he's going to be extremely tanky.
Yeah, and the puck salves up, so they can't immediately go back onto her. So we can take a peek into mid lane. Tiny 16-2
Ooh,
with
Undying.
DP. Undying, dropping very quickly as Tano Snapfire gets the final touch. Just about does the trick there. Contesting the pull and getting a kill while the
PL
back back
too.
with the
Oh
Iron
my
Shell. The PL
God.
gets slain
Wow.
by Sacred. A 3-0
He did not
start.
expect that. That vacuum, instead of the skilling up the Surge there on Darkseer. Oh, he's going to die to the tower. Oh, Undying got in though. He got the XP.
And then Dark Mago dies in the mid lane. Tano's rotation comes in with a Scatter Blast and the Avalanche Toss, so alone with Tano secure a kill on the Death Prophet. 4-1 is their start.
That's huge for Tano there. Just getting the kill on the Undying, rotating towards mid. And now the Tiny is also going to get the Power Rune to refill his bottle, most likely, unless the Undying snags it up on the top side, which I think he will.
Poor Tiny. And the positioning of that TP from DP was really nice as well. Like TPing the angle towards the top
He
room.
tips him. Yeah. He tips him. He's like, you ass.
You
You
got
just
it.
had to take it.
Oh, the Snapfire refills the bottle anyway. Walk back up towards the top lane as the Frostbite bottom catching the puck, forcing the jaunt under the tower.
Oh.
Into the deep freeze.
That's not good.
Yeah, the Maiden gets some experience out of that. It doesn't look like the Wraith King did.
Yeah, he got 15 wand charges and a Fairy Fire as well. I wonder if he really needed to
Cookie.
do that.
Surge on Tano. That's an Iron Shelled Snapfire chasing Undying and the PL. TP from Puck comes in. Try and turn around on the snap here as Sacred with a few stick charges and another Iron Shell looking to stand their ground and fight Matthew. That is a squishy Puck, takes the brunt of the Scatter Blast damage. Fairy Fire and Decay is enough though, and now Sacred
Baited.
has to surge away. Go get the bounty runes, gather them up, Darkseer, my buddy. Matthew still moves forward though. The gap closes this
Got
Puck
10
with another
sticks.
Waning Rift. Lots of stick charges popped out by Sacred. What do we have left? There's an orb in 2 seconds with a tiny avalanche. Toss up onto the Puck with that Crystal Nova and Frostbite on the PL. NoPing.
Jesus.
The turnaround after turnaround after turnaround. TP's galore as everyone brings about 6 heroes top lane. Ends out with EGOBOYS getting the upper hand.
There's a Fairy Fire, a Magic Wand on the Darkseer, and I'm pretty sure the Death Prophet's like, guys, Tiny is going for the top bounty, and they still committed for it. Got 3 heroes killed off because of it. Jeez. NoPing is just... Yeah, they gotta get some discipline, man. What is this?
And they're going to start noping out of these fights, which just aren't advantageous for them, because they lose the Undying top as well. Crystal Maiden and Darkseer, they're full control of that lane, and... You know, as always with a Wraith King in these games, you kind of look at the action on one side of the map, and you think, oh, it's going even, or it's going well for this side, and then you realize Wraith King is just that. He's basically the anti-mage of this patch, right? He sits, he farms, he hits that timing, comes out of the jungle, and it's not 3 a.m., he's like 11 p.m. ready just before the stroke of midnight to come out and fight you.
Yeah, and a lot more difficult to gank as well. He's got 2 lives. And beat up in the lane. Just a better
Oh my
anti-mage. Oh,
Tiny
again,
with his
PL.
second rotation onto PL.
Yeah, this PL's 0-3. I mean, this guy must be Omega tilted or something in this game. Just from that solo kill from the Darkseer, because the ways that he's playing just doesn't, it's not adding up right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's his plan next, because I think they're picking jungle to consider stacking and building up for the PL, but there's still another few minutes of, laning stage to go. It hasn't fully broken down yet, and of course would prefer to stay in lane for experience and gold.
I mean, he's just got to chill out. His DP, his Tidehunter, they're doing pretty well. They got good farm on those heroes, and they also have very good team fighting. You're just gonna have to chill out, farm up some jungle camps, and just wait for your teammates to make some plays happen.
He's level 5 on PL, 7.5 minutes in. Top 3 net worth is all green as the initiation on top. Trying to pick off Undying, kill off his tombstone. He's already burnt Soul Rip. Puck's TP looking to try and catch up to the Snapfire. They should be able to
No cancel.
here. No TP cancel? Oh, you're right, yeah.
Yep. So earlier in the draft, I said there's a lot of disables on NoPing, except those disables are ultimates. You got the Coil, you got the Ravage, maybe a Eul's from the DP later, so technically not a whole lot of disables in this early game at least.
Yeah, no consistent ways of catching.
You just TP away from these heroes.
Arcane Rune DP. Could see that first exorcism come out. Tiny and Snapfire. Sitting
Oh,
mid,
just
waiting.
PL again.
Is he dead?
Yup, he's dead.
He's just left there alone. Like Puck
mean-
and Undying, they're in the mid lane trying to help out this DP push tier 1. And you've left the already struggling Phantom Lancer 0, 4, and 2.
Well, do you think they left him alone, or he went there where he shouldn't
Alone.
be?
Yeah,
Right? Like, you just gotta.
that's the question.
He's gotta assess the situation. He's fighting into a Darkseer who's level 8. And you don't have a cloak, no hood, or anything like that. It's like any one of
Look
those
at these-
supports up there, you're just dead.
Look at these Radiant wards as well. Top lane ward, top jungle ward, Roshan and Rune ward. They see everything anywhere the PL is nearby. Crystal Maiden trying to steal out some of the stacks there, but that's the push on the bot tier 1, which NoPing will be looking at as a nice positive movement from them. Exorcism with the Arcane Rune going to work. We do lose the
make a
top
trade.
tower though to Tiny.
Puck's also gonna defend middle.
Jesus, that's a 10-minute Tiny blink, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's... Phew. That's scary. Yeah.
It's incredibly scary. Puck
Look at-
jumps on the courier, snipes it. DP's there with a Spirit Siphon, that's a lot of damage. Snapfire cookies to the high ground, tries to scatter blast and turn around, but the DP has the Crypt Swarm, and again,
PL.
they bring everyone mid.
PL.
No, I'm not looking top. I do not want to see the PL die again. Back into the waiting arms of Alone's Tiny, and that's what, 4 rotations from Tiny top. 4
Yeah.
kills on the PL. He's got 5 deaths now over on Phantom Lancer.
I've never seen a carry have 5 deaths in 10 minutes in a competitive game, I think. That is way too many deaths.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, I should have been in the triangle 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Just try and farm over there.
You could have had a lot, to be honest, if he was there in the triangle, farming it up.
And you bring all these heroes, 4 heroes mid, to try and pressure with a 10-minute catapult wave. But there's the blink revealed. Tiny's in with the Mortimer's Kisses. They don't quite take down the DP, but it was bloody close. And now the arrival of that Ravage, stopping Darkseer and the Maiden from doing too much more. Dark Mago, he is Spirit Siphoning back off the Darkseer here, as Sacred has gone a step too far forward, while Snapfire not wanting to get any deeper involved in this fight.
Yeah,
will
Tiny
run
has no
away.
more combo. He doesn't have enough mana to get another combo out. Although his blink's up. That's a pretty good fight for NoPing. Get rid of the Darkseer and the CM, who are doing a lot of work in this game.
There's space for PL.
Yep. And this is what I meant by, like, let your team do their stuff, you know? You got the Tide, you got the DP, you got the Puck, you got insane team fight. Let them go together as 4, you know, bait out all the heroes. You just play safe until you see heroes on the map, and you will get your space. Ah, he's dead
It's a
again.
great smoke. It's a great smoke from EGOBOYS, right? They're playing into exactly what you're saying. Let everyone else go mid. Avalanche toss kills off the Phantom Lancer. 0, 6, and 2. And then they can come back in and defend that mid objective as they've glyphed against the Exorcism. No Avalanche toss. Oh, it's just about ready now. Comes off cooldown as I start my sentence. Look for that DP. Look for the Tide. And jump onto Oscar. No immediate kill, though.
Yeah. Fortunately for NoPing, this is not USC's matchmaking, or Phantom Lancer would have been down the mid lane right now. All his items on the floor.
Do you still see the Shadow Amulet Warriors? Or is
Not
it
the
literally
Shadow
just run
Amulet,
down
it's
mid
just-
and feed?
It's just called GG and AFK. People don't even go out
Okay.
and break items anymore, yeah. Now we got the Dota Overwatch going, you know? That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, start flagging those timestamps for when he bought Shadow Amulet, when he was sitting in the triangle, farming one camp at a time, buying the tome, so he can keep experience coming. EGOBOYS trying to turn this laning stage advantage into a game-winning scenario for themselves. Smoke from the Tiny, the Darkseer, onto the Undying. Handaboo gone.
Really good positioning from EGOBOYS, constantly playing aggressively, just even if they have the Wraith King, you just farm, and he's got Relic on Wraith King already. Jesus. Okay. Casual Glove into Relic, and his team is also smashing NoPing zeros.
Still a pretty tanky DP though. Like she's actually a level ahead of the Tiny, surprisingly enough.
No, I mean, she's doing well, right? It's the good matchup for her. The problem right now they're facing is the PO is not able to go out and split push as far as they would like him to at this stage in the game, because he's still catching up. He's 2,000 gold plus behind the Wraith King at 13 minutes into the game. That is just unacceptable.
Oh, he's going to try and get Diffusal Blade. It looks like he was thinking Manta. Going to switch back into the Diff Blade. Not too far away from it, honestly. He's only about 1,000 gold or so away. But yeah, you make a good point. You know, with all the Tiny's rotations top, DP has just been sat in this lane, you know, chipping away, taking tower, getting lane creep experience.
Yeah.
And Tiny's been doing a lot of roaming and rotating.
And the rotations from the Tiny was like, it's not because he had the option to, it's like he had to rotate. He could not stay middle against the DP and just get smacked in the face. So we can't even say those rotations were like unpredictable. Maybe NoPing just need to give a little bit of a better heads up. But kudos to Tiny though, not to let himself get stopped by this Death Prophet.
Oh, they all come top hunting for Darkseer. But he's able to TP back, and he's got his Helm Creep as well, shoving out waves with Iron Shell on it. What's he got next? Mech now arriving for Sacred. Yeah, I was wondering where his gold was. Third in the net worth as Undying. He's got a tombstone there. Snapfire
Slow
Kiss is
down
landing. PL has died to the Tiny alone in the triangle. The Kisses.
No, can't be.
Frostbite on the puck. It's silenced, so Crystal Maiden can't get it off. Now Oscar's here, but no mana for Ravage. He can pop his wand. In comes the Tiny again, though. Avalanche toss. Dark Mago still alive.
Hitting a lot.
Cookie back into the Centaur. Stop.
Wow.
3 of them stunned. The Ravage, it does come, but it's all too late. The Reincarnation's going to bring this Wraith King back to face off against the Death Prophet, who self-heals to dodge the stun. Doesn't have any more Spirit Siphons. 11-1 charges, the movement speed, but in comes Tiny for the third time this fight, and alone. Slices down the Death Prophet. And yes, Theban, the Phantom Lancer, he died.
Dark Mago is so mad. Look at the lines he's drawing. He's like, can you just deward this area, guys? PL, please just farm here. Oh, there's a lot. There's a civil war going in on NoPing's side, that's for sure. There's some very different lines being drawn on the minimap there. But yeah, that was a nice vacuum combo too. I mean, I appreciated that. With the Centaur creep.
Beautiful stuff. Easy pick off on the Undying. But it really was that kind of scenario. I was looking at the Wraith King, watching him fight the Undying. I flick my eyes to the map. I see Tiny in the dire triangle. I'm like, what's Tiny doing over there? And it's like, Tiny has killed Phantom Lancer. Oh, I see. 7 deaths Diffusal
Yeah.
Blade is 30 gold away.
I mean, he also didn't buy a cloak, which is kind of questionable. Whenever you see PLs playing against Tiny and these kind of heroes, they will always buy even a complete hood, right? But just having like a casual cloak would have been good enough to be able to survive some of these ganks.
Yeah, it gives you the chance to one doppelganger. Maybe slip away.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
But there are some key items for NoPing. Blink Puck. No boots, no ping puck with Blink Dagger. Tide has the pipe. Dark Mago, of course, finished that Yule Scepter. Still a bit distant from the BKB. This is usually a time you'd want NoPing to smoke, move out, make a play, look for a fight. I guess they have to anyway.
They might be alright to just chill out a bit and just wait for EGOBOYS to make the aggressive move. They already have the Wraith King on the Radiance, or Radiance on the Wraith King, so they're smoking up now, but I'm not so sure if how much PL can do in this next fight.
Oh, the Radiant Scan. Alone
Okay,
on the high
yes.
ground.
It's under attack.
They jump
Wow,
in.
aggressive.
3-man Avalanche, Vacuum War Stomp, and the kisses really well placed. EGOBOYS shred through the first two heroes with ease, and Oscar is the third one lined up for them. Tombstone, cherry on top of the ice cream sundae. There was that disaster of a fight from NoPing, going up high ground, blind, and now a fourth. The puck face shift, Waning Rift does not get away from this though.
Oh man. I just want to say that was extremely fortunate. Titan didn't have Ravage. He had like 3 seconds left on it when they jumped in. Yeah, I mean, when the Tiny went in, I was like, wait a minute. That's a bit of an awkward jump from the Tiny. If there was a Ravage that came out and it stopped the Darkseer vacuum wall combo, maybe they could have turned it around, but because they didn't have it, EGOBOYS completely annihilate them.
Has fallen.
Nonetheless, like you said, high ground smoke. Didn't even see anybody else. Still committed
Yeah,
to
when
it.
when that smoke pops, you've got to be really snappy with your decision making. Either you heavy commit or you heavy get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and they also bursted them through pipe. That was all magic damage being so heavy onto this Death Prophet through the pipe.
Yeah, Tide Pipe, what now? And Wraith King, Sanj done. He's basically got Sanj and Yasha, honestly.
Yeah, he does.
20
He's
minutes in.
enormous. This is one of the most farmed Wraith Kings for sure. He even go for the Midas this game. Just a casual gloves of haste.
Yeah, sitting close to 600 GPM.
Is under
20 minutes in, tier 2 top, gonna be the prize he claims.
So now I know what a Wraith King who gets first blood looks like.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Stacking
Radiant's
all of the good
middle
stuff
tower
onto
is
Wraith
under
King, yeah.
attack.
Get him a good start, get him first blood, get him a free... I mean, what, he's literally had 17 minutes free farm, like not even looking at an enemy hero after laning stage. And a 9k lead for EGOBOYS. We could still see, though, the perfect teamfight potential from NoPing, but DP on this high ground gets stunned up. Guess the Yule's off, but that's all too late. It's the Mortimer's Kisses. I'm going to take her down. Another stun lands, the Spirit Siphon. Sure, it brings you back to about half HP, but Alone has also sniped out the Undying. There seems to be very little cohesion here from NoPing in terms of what their overall game plan is, where heroes need to be, or what they're doing.
This is what happens though when one of your teammates is having like a base low worst kind of possible game. It kind of bleeds out onto your other roles. Like the DP, the Tide, you know, they don't really know what to do when all their lanes are being pushed in because your carry can't really push any of the lanes out against the heroes because he's constantly trying to catch up. Look at the Wraith King's net worth versus the Phantom Lancers.
It's a pretty big gap, but I
Huge
think
gap.
it's got to be said though. 0-7, Phantom Lancer has items. Like he doesn't look like he's completely out of the game. Hood, Diffusal, going into the Manta style next.
It's at the cost of the Death Prophet and the Tide Hunter for sure.
Yeah,
Because they've been having to give him all of the safe farm. Like absolute safe farm at this point. And trying to run their heroes into your opponent to make some space so they don't keep hunting him down.
because now you're looking at Darkseer with Helm, Mech, Aghanim Scepter.
This is enormous.
11,000.
It's a dream.
11,000 net worth on Darks here. Roshan going to go the way of Ego Boys. So now we're going to have Wraith King with plus 350 HP. So he's sitting at 2.7k with Aegis, 17 one charges. And here we come, rushing towards your base. Dire team, are you ready?
I mean, Sacred has had some real good mana management this game too with this build. It's just like a mech, Ags, no arcane boots even. He's like getting bottled up by the Tiny.
Is under attack.
He's like, I think you need this, buddy.
Gets bottled, uses Soul Ring. It's been
This
great.
hero has a lot of mana cost for all his skills, but I mean, that's why he can farm a lot too. That's how good they are. Just Iron Shells the Centaur, sends a top creep wave. That dies while they're pushing mid.
Dire structures are fortified.
Yes, with no fear, no commitment. Tiny, Yuled up after the avalanche toss. Silenced as well as the Ravagers dropped
Tombstone's
onto the
down.
Wraith King, and that Tombstone, you are right. Back into the two-man War Stomp though. Darks here makes the play with a Cookie helping out. They get the Undying and the DP down too. With the Freezing Field on the PL, he's been zoned out of the fight completely. One kill is all that NoPing gets, and the Tombstone can finally be focused. Tier 2 dropping as the Dire squad buy back on the Death Prophet, but she doesn't have Exorcism, and she doesn't have a Tide Hunter with Ravage to fight with either, so Matthew's Puck trying his best to try and cut waves and escape from this. The tree shoved forward towards the Puck, but a phase shift is there. They spent Coil just to disengage the Puck out of that one, and now Radiant, they're knocking on the door. You're Tier 3 in the barracks. Avalanche, alone tries, doesn't get the combo. Now half HP, forced to Cookie back. Wraith King, though, just stands his ground on top of the ramp.
It's got an Aegis.
Very wary, though. Even with
he's
Aegis,
gonna get out.
not having reincarnation, they can just push bottom lane, get the tier 2. Much safer avenue.
Alright, Gary, Death Prophet, use buyback. Feels bad, man. That's her entire item progression just gone. And Tide also using Ravage in the last team fight, so they used all their key spells, all their ultimates, and they still couldn't do anything because it was a 4 versus 5. Still, the PL just doesn't have any angle to actually enter the team fights with the amount of farm that he has for the time being.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yes, especially when, I think you called it very early on, he doesn't have anything to stop the freezing field. So if he goes on the Maiden, he needed the Puck there just to be able to get the kill and to stay alive as the PL. So then you're actually looking at like a 2v1 with Puck plus PL going onto backlines. And then it's a 3v4 where the rest of NoPing have to contend with Tiny, Darkseer, Wraith King, with only like a DP and a Tide, basically. As Tiny, quick and easy. Only Pandaboo Undying. Tide Hunter gonna get someone gobbled up and shoved towards him. In front of his face, there's a Tiny there, and the freezing field actually getting used up to kill off Tide, who doesn't have buyback. Puck up
So
top.
farmed.
Alone wants to make the jump. Avalanche toss with the Echo Saber hits. That's enough damage. That's another pick-off here. They just need to maintain these lanes and control them across the river so EGOBOYS can actually push high ground again. Oh no, DP please. Dark Mago. Escape. Run away. This is a bit spooky. Oh my god. Oh my god, that hit with the bash. Glimmer Cape from Panda, please get me out of here, says the DP. Wraith King just walks
Panda,
straight
oh my
towards
God.
him. Holy crap! Okay, Wraith King, he does have the Aghanim Shard here, so reincarnation is going to be utilized. But DP
Oh,
in an
no,
awkward
Dark
spot
Mago.
now, stuck here with a freezing Crystal Maiden, trapping her in place in the vacuum into the wall. In comes the Gobble Tiny, forcing the Ravage, but the kisses, they are well aimed, placed on top of NoPing. Oscar's destroyed, the DP dead without buyback,
the PL.
and the PL being hunted in his own base. But GG has already been called out by NoPing. Get us out of this game one.
Radiant
Ooh, yeah.
Coach Gary
That was-
says, don't go 0-7 as your Phantom Lancer.
That was an absolute stomp, Gary. I mean, again, I like the Puck Tide lane. Sure, they lost, but only by a little bit. I think the Tide Hunter, he stayed in the lane. He did his job. DB won our lane. But this PO, man, he bled and bled and bled and bled. You got to cut your losses, sir. You got to cut your losses. Play safe. You got to understand, they're looking for you, especially after the second death, maybe even the third death. I don't think Pio just needs to change his playstyle altogether after that. But he kept dying. Like I think he had 5 deaths in the top lane alone. Yeah, so it's really awkward for your team when your carry player is doing that. Hopefully in game number 2, he resets, he chills out, and he'll play a little bit better. Darkseer is good against PO. Maybe you can get 1 kill on the PO, but in this kind of competitive environment, you shouldn't be getting 5 kills.
Yeah, and then hunted in the jungle relentlessly by that Tiny. Some great stuff there from the Tiny and the Wraith King. Unkilled and unkillable. 11-0-13 on the Tiny for alone. Spectacular stuff coming out of a disadvantageous matchup against the DP as well. And there we go. Game 1. EGOBOYS secure it in a very, very straightforward Wraith Kingy kind of way. So we'll take a quick break and return. Game 2 coming up after this.